Hi, welcome back. This is the next segment in the circuit training, lower body and plyometrics. We are now going to challenge our lower body strength and, of course, our cardiovascular endurance. So, starting off with Tom, Lucas, and Grace showing you some moves that you can do at your level, but that will challenge you. The first move that we're going to do is a simple squat. Before we begin, let me just walk you through a few important points. You want to make sure that your heels are just wider than your hips, and that when you set back, you're imagining that you're sitting on a low chair or stool, keeping your body weight behind you, keeping your knees behind your toes, and your chest lifted up. We're going to start with 30 seconds of squats. Are we ready? Go. Dropping down and picking it up. The models here are going to show you the best way that you can keep moving through that 30 seconds at a nice smooth pace with your hands touching in front of you, on your hips, or just simply by your sides. I want you to make sure that you push through your heels and keep your pace nice and even. Breathing, exhaling as you rise. And our 30 seconds is up. Let's come to a standing position. Great. Now we're going to add on to that squat. So in our next move, we will be doing a standing squat with a leg lift. I want everybody to start with their right leg. Take a deep breath, go ahead and go. Set back and then lift your right leg out to the side. Now alternating to your left on this one. And we're going for 30 seconds, trying to kick that leg up and out as wide as you can. As you're kicking, you should imagine that that heel is just pushing something away. Maybe a door, maybe something heavy, maybe just your next goal, pushing it away so you can reach to a new one. Always remember to drive through those heels on the squat and keep the knees behind the toes and keep breathing nice and strong, always dropping back, always keeping that chest lifted. And we're going to come to a little rest, back to a stance, please. Our next move will be a stepping, alternating lunge. Now it's important in the lunge that you keep your feet right under your hips and you keep the width that is between your feet as you step back. So if you imagine that your feet are on train tracks, when you step back in that straight line, you will still stay in that perpendicular space and coming back. Now it's also important in a lunge that when you step back, you are far enough back so that you drop the back leg in, come back up, and bring the feet together. I want you to work to your level and to be very careful to keep the knee that stays forward over the ankle and to push through that forward heel. Tom, Lucas, and Grace will be showing you this alternating stepping lunge, and Grace and I will address some modifications. Are we ready? Go. So you may notice that this is a more strenuous move than a squat is. It is requiring more of your muscle groups to push through. But I want you to keep your shoulders aligned over your hips, your chest lifted. And as Grace will now show, she's going to step back to about a half distance and maybe not drop as low. So just step it back with a little drop and push back through. Great, still maintaining the height and alignment of her upper body, whereas Tom and Lucas are trying to get that shin parallel to the floor, nice and low, and still pushing through that forward foot. All right, let's take a little break here. Standing on our feet, feeling strong, we're going to perform another lunge movement. This is a pulsing lunge. So for 15 seconds, we're going to stay on one leg. I want everyone to go ahead and bring their right leg back. Ready, go? Now, when you drop down, you're going to stay down and create small pulsing movements, still putting your force through that left leg. Ready, go. And you're not lifting the body up too high, but you're still maintaining that shoulder line and hip line. Grace, if you wouldn't mind showing a modification of a less dropping lunge. Good, notice that her hips still stay squared, she's still pushing through her forward foot. And we can have our hands meeting together or simply by our sides. Let's step it in and go right to the other leg. Creating the same distance and go. Dropping in to that low pulse pushing through that forward foot and using that modification pulse if that feels better for you. And breathing nice and strong. Keeping the distance between those feet the same, never changing it. These can challenge your balance, so be sure that you are using that abdominal control. Coming to that standing position, let's take a deep breath. Now, we're going to perform some powerful squats here. We're actually going to jump with them. If you know that jumping isn't right for you, I want you to follow Grace as she is going to elevate herself to a nice tall stance with her arms up, but she will not be leaving the floor. So when I say ready, we're going to drop into a squat, and then using our arms and our momentum, we're going to jump up and reach the arms as high as we can. Grace will not leave the ground, as I said before. Are we ready? And go. Great job. Trying to get the same height out of these jumping squats every time you perform one. So using that reach of your arms, using that strong momentum leaving the floor, using your body positioning to help you stay nice and strong and to keep breathing. Let's go for 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Great. Now we're going to repeat this round with less explanation from me, hopefully a little bit more motivation for you to enjoy. We're going to start right off with the easy squats. Are you ready? And go. Squatting back, imagining that you're sitting down into a low chair, pushing through your heels, breathing nice and strong, encouraging your body to get right down to that same distance, bringing your hip line to your knee line. And again, you don't want to lean forward, you want to make sure that your chest stays nice and light, keeping your eye gaze right out in front of you. Focusing on that push down, focusing on your breath, and maybe how many reps you can do. And I want you to come to a nice little break here, gather your breath. We're going to drop right back into squats, starting with our right leg. We're going to perform some leg lifts, so we'll alternate. Are we ready? We're going to remember that little push, right? Ready, go. Squat, leg lift. Squat, leg lift. Now, can you challenge yourself to get a little higher in that lift? You want to focus on the upper body staying forward, lifted, light, and the power coming through your glutes. So if you're feeling a little burn in those side walls, you got it. Don't forget to drop as low as you can in the squat. Working that energy through both legs, sitting back and then lifting. You're really encouraging that one standing leg to hold all your body weight. So if these are feeling a little difficult, that's good. You want to get more of them. All right, let's come to a stance, take a break. It's time for our alternating stepping lunges. We don't have a pulse yet, so remember, we're just going to step back, drop that knee, bring the feet back together, and go to the other side. 30 seconds. Are you ready? Go. The goal is to get that shin parallel to the floor. So you want to come as low as you can. But if you know that you're not ready for that, a small drop is just fine. Notice that the knee stays behind the toes. So you want to encourage your body to drop back and not let that knee bend forward over the toes for safety reasons, for your joints, for your knees. And keeping your chest lifted and your hips nice and square. Let's go for 1 more on each side. Good. Take a little break. Now, we're going to continue to do those lunges, this time staying on one side for 15 seconds before we switch over to the other. And I want you to create a nice little pulse in that lunge to the best you can. If you know that pulsing isn't where you're ready for right now, just hold that lunge on the one leg. Are we ready? And go. Stepping back, holding it down, and creating a pulse. So you'll notice the range of motion that Tom has here. He's going from about midway all the way down. That knee is almost grazing the floor. Same with Lucas, and his hips stay nice and aligned. Grace is showing you the modification here because maybe it's easier for you to pulse in the top half. Let's switch that leg, step back, and create the same movements on the other side. Go ahead. Also feeling your shoulders relax away from your ears. Don't bring that tension up into the upper body. Lunges, because they are difficult in nature and can be complicated, make us tense a little bit. So if you want to draw energy in, pull it in through your abdominal wall, keeping that core braced as you work through that lunge. Let's step both feet in, take a little break here. It's time for our powerful squat jumps. Now, we saw the height that we got on the first one. We saw the modification that Grace used. Let's pick one that's right for you. If you want to go for that gusto height, go for it every time. If you know you're not a jumper yet and you just need to take it easy, make sure you're reaching your arms as high as you can to lengthen through that torso, to really get those arms up in the air. All right, are we ready? Go. Good. Swinging the arms is a great way to help you gain more momentum, or using just those legs to derive the power from them. Good. And if you're at this level, it's great. Set back as low as you can and reach as high as you can. No matter what, you should feel your heart rate continue to increase. These can be quite challenging, and that's why it's good to know your level and perform as many as you can high and maybe come back to low, or stay at low the whole time. We have one more round coming. So in 3, 2, and 1, we take a little standing rest, gather our breath, and we're gonna go right from the top. Good old squats, but no jump this time. And go. Good. And just like we talked about before, your arms can remain by your sides. Your arms can remain at your chest. Your arms can be out in front of you, but it helps to keep your chest nice and lifted so that your form is really perfected. Using those glutes as you drive up, drive the heels down into the floor and feel the energy come right out of your power chain in the back. Let's go for 3 more. And we're finishing up with that 30 seconds, so we come to a little standing break. Now, our next move is going to be squat with the leg lifts again. Go for that same height, really challenge yourself, and imagine that your foot is flexed and you're pushing something out to the side. Ready? Go. Good job. As you start to tire, you may feel that your chest is dropping a little bit. I want you to really think about sitting back. I know we're in round 3. I know this is getting a little exhausting, but it's great leg work. So really think about your forms. That's going to help you achieve the goals that you've set for yourself and increase your power and your strength. We're almost through our 30 seconds in our leg lifts. So keep your breath nice and easy. 1 more on each side. And let's come to a small standing break. Remember, when your heart rate's really high, it can help if you still have some movement in those legs. We're going to our alternating stepping lunges here. We've already talked about how low we should bring that knee and where we should keep the alignment in our body. So I'm gonna have everyone just attack it at the level they know they're at. We're going 30 seconds, 15 on each leg, and I'll cue you when to change. Ready, go. Step back and bring it forward. Nice job. So as you've gotten warmer here and a little bit better at it, maybe you feel that you can drop just a bit lower. If you know that you're already low, maybe you can set back a little deeper. Wherever you're going, make sure you're powering through that front leg. Let's do 1 more and switch feet. And go. Step it back. Nice and strong. Again, think about how those shoulders stay right over the hips. Think about how you can really encourage your abdominal wall to stay in nice and strong. The breath is going to need to be nice and strong too, and it's good to hear it. So you want to encourage nice strong inhales, nice strong exhales, keeping all your power under that forward foot. And let's bring it to a standing hold right here, collecting our breath, focusing on our back, maybe giving the shoulders a little roll. It's time for the pulsing lunge. So we're gonna spend 15 minutes with the right leg first, as many little pulses as you can get. Make that range of motion nice and small. Are you ready? And go. So pulsing. Good. I want you to see Lucas here. He's got a nice small range of motion. He's staying nice and low. Really recruiting his leg muscles and glute muscles to fire and work nice and strong. Now, Grace is still achieving the same amount of work, just in a different range. She's in that top range. And we are going to switch legs. So bring it in, step it back. Let's get those lunges going. Pulse them. Go. Good. You want to keep that back heel lifted. Be pushing through that forward foot. Stay nice and elevated and lifted with that upper body. You're so close. Don't give up. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of the burn. And let's bring both feet together, collect our breath, and relax. Now, finally, our last set of powerful jumping squats. I want you to go for it here. So remember, you're gonna be dropping back just like you practiced in that first squat, but then elevating yourself, either with lifted arms and extended torso or with a nice reach up. And go. Using the arms if you need to help propel yourself, or just keeping your arms forward. This is plyometric work. This is training all of your body to move your body weight. So whether you are a beginner or someone who has been athletic for years, a powerful jumping squat can be a great way for you to challenge your plyometric ability. Let's keep it going about 10 more seconds. And Grace, you're doing a great job showing that modification with a reach. So I want you to encourage yourself to come to this level when you need to. And let's finish up. Come to a nice stance, and there's 3 rounds of your lower body training.